guys, guess what I have for you today? Yep, that's right. It's part 3 of my peel-based comparison series, which I started about 7 months ago, and I will be continuing that with 5 new brands, or new to me, that I haven't tried yet. I'm going to put, like I did last time, 1 brand on each finger, and I'm going to apply them exactly the same way and compare how they apply, how fast they dry, how long my nails last with them on. So let's get into talking about the brands we'll be using. This first brand is Dipp'd. It is sort of a white milky consistency. It's very what's the word I'm looking for? It's not thick at all, but it's not very thin. The next one is Mani Boss. Now, I've used Mani Boss before, so I know somewhat how it performs, and I like it. It's not my 100% favorite, but it does work. So we'll be comparing that. It's very similar in its texture to the Dipp'd. It's just pink instead of white. Now, this one is 𝕤𝕤𝕒𝕟𝕼. And it is actually an Australian company. I found it on Etsy, in a shop on Etsy. And I will link, of course, all of these peel bases down in the description box for you guys, so that if you decide that you want to try one of them, feel free. That one actually is clear. It reminds me a lot of, like, just looking at it, it reminds me a lot of 𝕖𝕝 and Hello Taco. This one is Dipalicious. Dipalicious looks very similar to the Mani Boss. It's more of a peachy color, but the viscosity and the texture of it is about the same. And then this one is from a small dip company on Etsy called Devz and Devz Dips. And it also reminds me very much of Hello Taco and 𝕖𝕝 in its appearance. So yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. Those are the 5 we are testing out today. So what I did was I went ahead and planned which I was going to put on what finger, just so I wouldn't forget. I put Mani Boss on my pinky because it's the easiest to pop off, and I already know how Mani Boss performs pretty much. So I'm basically comparing it to the other 4. So I am going to be doing 2 full coats of peel base, because that is what I did in the last one, and for consistency's sake I will do the same in this video. So I'm starting with Mani Boss, and I'm going to do 1 full coat, and then I will move on to the other peel bases, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how they apply, if I like their brushes, that kind of stuff, and then we'll discuss dry time. So Mani Boss applied very easily. It's a nice consistency. It wasn't too thick, wasn't too thin, did not easily flood my cuticles or anything like that. And I'm going to say that Dipp'd is pretty much identical in consistency and coverage, etc. They pretty much feel like the same product, just different colors. In application, even the brushes were pretty similar. Now, 𝕤𝕤𝕒𝕟𝕼, this one I am applying on my middle finger, is thicker. It has a thicker consistency. It did not, in my opinion, apply as easily or as smoothly. It was a little bit streaky, but it did self-level. So that was interesting. I've never seen a peel base. I've never even thought of self-leveling as something I'd want it in a peel base, but it did. Because when I first put it on, it was kind of streaky looking, and I was like, uh-oh. And then I waited a second, and it self-leveled. So it was fine. But it is definitely a thicker consistency than the first 2. Dipalicious, again, applied very similarly to the Mani Boss and the Dipp'd. It has pretty much the same consistency and feels almost like the same product. Now, this one, Devz, It's a thinner consistency than the 𝕔𝕙𝕒𝕟𝕼, even though they look similar. It applied very much to me like Hello Taco and Aisle 21. They're very similar in consistency. They're fairly thin. Yeah, but now I've skipped ahead a little bit, and all of my nails are dry. The first ones to dry were the Double Dipped and the Mani Boss. They dried very fast. And then I would say the Dipalicious and 𝕔𝕙𝕒𝕟𝕼 were a close match, and then Devz took a little bit longer. And what I'm showing you here is that 𝕔𝕙𝕒𝕟𝕼, the one that's from Australia, is 5 free, vegan, and cruelty free. Okay, and I'm going to give you a little bit more information about that stuff a little bit later, but I just wanted to show you the box for some reason. So we'll discuss that a little bit more later. But right now I am on to my second coat. And I guess while I'm doing that, I will get a little bit into what I found about ingredients. So I did not look up all of the ingredients. What I did was I went on all the websites and I looked up whether or not it specified if it was vegan, cruelty-free, allergen-free, like if it was 9-free, 18-free, what have you. And so Mani Boss is 18-free, it is vegan, and it is cruelty-free, according to the website. 𝕔𝕙𝕒𝕟𝕼, I already showed you the box. It is 5 free, it is vegan, it is cruelty-free. Dipalicious is 18 free and water-based. There's no latex in it. I'm pretty sure all of these are water-based, not latex-based. So that's good to know for anyone who has latex allergies. And Devz does not have any ingredients listed. It doesn't specify if it's allergen-free in any way, but it is latex-free. It's water-based. And I contacted Double Dipp'd because on the website I couldn't find anything about, you know, if it's 9-free or vegan or anything like that. But it does list the ingredients, so it's easy to look at the ingredients and look up anything if you're not sure if you're allergic to it or not. So that's good that the ingredients are listed. And I got a response when I messaged her very quickly, and she was very honest and transparent with me, you know, about, you know, there's just no guarantee. And every individual is different, and one person may not have an issue and may not be allergic, and the next person could be. So it's just a matter of, you know, being aware of what you have sensitivity to and looking out for that. And also paying attention to your body, because it will tell you, right? Oh, so here's the color that we're going to use today. Sorry, I got on a tangent there a little bit. Crocus from Shameless Nails. Oh my goodness, this is a stunning color, and I am obsessed with it. And just like in my last video, this is going to be a 1 dip color mani, because I just want everything to be consistent across the board. So every single brand is tested exactly the same way. Okay, but if I was going to put one color on my nails, you know, it has to be a purple or a lavender or a periwinkle or something that's purplish in hue. Anyway, moving on, I am starting my dip application process, and I left the entire process in this video. I might have sped up parts of it, but I wanted you to basically see how these peel bases perform with dip liquids, because the majority of us use them with dip liquids. Some of us use gel. I personally do not. I only use dip liquids for my manis. So that is why I have left the entire process in, because what I did observe with, and I'm going to say the three, Mani Boss, Double Dipped, and Dipalicious, when I applied the first layer of my base, the brush sort of stuck a little bit to the peel base. It didn't move the peel base at all. It didn't ruin the peel base at all. But the bristles of the brush kind of stuck a little bit as I was brushing it on. So I had to be very careful of that. As soon as I started feeling it stick, I would move it quickly. And yeah, so I felt that on those three. And I want to say those are the three that are the most similar in their consistency. And I'm just wondering if maybe they're a very similar formula. I didn't have any issues with the powder sticking to the base. I was worried a little bit because I've had this experience before, especially with Mani Boss, that sometimes if I didn't lay down a layer of base liquid first and let it dry and then apply my dip, that the powder would not stick to the nail because the base liquid was drying too fast. I did not have that problem this time around. However, because I was experiencing that sticking, I was a much more careful and detailed in my application of the base. So if you watched, I brushed it on and I smoothed it over, and I just made sure that the whole area was covered before I dipped. And I didn't have any problem. I didn't have any issue. Everything stuck just fine. But here I am. This is the Dipalicious nail, and I am being very thorough, if you notice. I'm not doing like 2 or 3 quick strokes and then dipping. I really coated that nail to make sure. But there was no issue. And then once I got the full coverage of my first dip, I move on to my second dip. And to be honest with you, I had absolutely no issues applying this powder over these peel bases. Now, I do happen to know from experience of using these powders before that Shameless Nails makes dips that have really good coverage, like probably 1 dip coverage for most of their powders, I would say. So that probably helps. What I'm going to do now is let you guys watch me finish up this application because I have blabbed your ears off long enough, and I will come back in a little bit for clear capping and activation. Okay, perfect. Now that I have 2 layers of this beautiful, stunning, gorgeous color Crocus on my nails, I am going to clear cap, and I have had absolutely no issues with this application, no issues whatsoever with any of the peel bases. It's just been a smooth application, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna finish up this clear cap, and I'm going to activate, and I'm going to file and buff off camera. I was planning on leaving some of my e-filing and shaping in. However, in reviewing the footage, I was out of screenshot for the majority of it, completely out of frame, and you would have gotten nothing out of that. So I apologize. I am one of those up-in-your-face filers and don't have the best eyesight, so I wear cheater readers and I file up in my face, and therefore out of frame. I apologize, but you know, I've said in many past videos that if that is something that you want me to specifically record, I can work a little bit harder at not filing up in my face and staying in frame. However, if that is something you don't really care that much about and you just want to see me apply my dip powder and do nail art and all of those lovely things, then I'm happy to do that as well. So let me know down in the comments what you think about that. Moving on, I'm going to activate these lovelies, and I'm going to file and buff and shape off camera, as I said, and I will be back for the final activation and top coat. Okay, so that was super quick. Here I am activating for the second time after I have filed and gotten all my shaping done. I will say, if I can stop saying that there was no issue with filing at all. There I go again. I have in the past popped a peely in the middle of filing. In fact, the last mani I did, which I recorded but I have not uploaded yet, I popped a peely. It's not in the video because it popped out of frame, but yes, it does happen sometimes. Even with my favorite peel bases, they sometimes pop right off while I'm filing. But that did not happen this time around with any of these. I am you know, it's one of those things when you're trying a new peel base, you get nervous because I am one of those people that absolutely despises soaking off my dip powder. I don't like the feeling. It's a sensory thing. It bothers me so much that I avoid it at all costs. So, yeah, I sort of have this little bit of anxiety about not being able to pop these off and having to soak, and that, yeah. However, I'm willing to sacrifice and do this for all of you because I think it's important for everybody to know how the different peel bases work and perform. And so, but with that being said, I'm going to throw in this little disclaimer and say, just because a peel base doesn't work for me does not mean that it won't work for you. Because I know plenty of people who, okay, not plenty of people, but I do know some people who swear by Sparkle & Co.'s peel base, and I cannot use it. I tried so many different methods to use that peel base. It was the first one I ever tried, and every time I ended up soaking it off. I gave up on it. I just gave up on it. But, you know, it is also, I think, a glue or latex-based peel base, which I have found personally, I don't think works for me. I always, when trying and searching for peel bases, generally look for ones that are water-based because I think that that is what works best for me and my nails. But everyone's different. And that being said, also, I do generally use 2 full coats of peel base, depending on the peel base. Now, for Holo Taco and for Aisle 21 and some of these that pop off way easier for me, I do 1 strip down the middle and then a full coat. And that works great for me. So it depends on the peel base and how it acts with my own chemistry and my nails. And that is what I have found from trying so many different kinds of peel base. It really is just a trial. Oh, here I am showing you that I'm using the double dip liquids. I don't know why I didn't do that at first, but these are just beautiful dip liquids. I am enjoying them immensely. They are so shiny and so easy to work with, and they have a tiny bit of odor, and the first time I used them I did get a little bit of dip flu, but this time I didn't. Anyway, so moving on, I am going to end this video here, and I am going to keep these nails on as long as I normally would with any mani, which is about a week. Okay, applying my cuticle oil as I always do. This is one that I created myself. I call it Sweet Cherry Wine. I love it. It smells delicious. But in my next video, I am going to pop these peelies, see how easily they remove. I will talk about whether or not I had any pop off on their own and what my final thoughts are on all these peel bases. So I hope that you will all stay tuned and keep your eyes peeled for that upload sometime next week. I am going to show you again on this little piece of paper I am about to hold up that I kept track of which of these peel bases dried the fastest. So Mani Boss and Double Dipped and Dipalicious pretty much dried the fastest. Then it was 𝕔𝕙𝕒𝕟𝕟𝕼, then Devz, which was the slowest drying of them all. I will also be discussing in the next video cost and how much these peel bases will set you back. So if you are interested in hearing about all of that and more, please join me then. Have a great night. Bye-bye now.